When did you get the payment for the utilities in January?
The beginning of January, the 8th, the 7th, the 8th.
And when did
It's
you
not,
send
it's the internet.
when did you send them a demand of possession?
They've gotten 60 days, buying them time, and they got another 10-day notice. So I gave them adequate notice that they had to go.
When did you give him the 10
And
days?
he came back and said he wanted to work on it. So
When
I gave them
did
paperwork
you
and
give the
still.
10-day notice? When?
When?
All right. 1 second. All right, those parties in position 9, go ahead and unmute for me. Parties in position 9, unmute for Mr. Green, Mr. Stewart.
Okay, I'm here.
You turn your camera on.
Oh, yes.
All right, you guys raise your right hand. Ms. Stewart, Mr. Green, you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the penalty and perjury of the law?
I swear.
I swear, I do.
All right, I'm going to first ask Ms. Stewart some questions, and then I will figure out what's going on with the green. So, Ms. Stewart, does AFIME Enterprise have a written lease with the Greens?
No, they do not.
They do not. Do they have an oral lease?
Yes.
Okay, and when was the oral lease entered into?
June 2023, beginning July 2023.
Okay, how much is monthly rent?
Supposed to be $1,800 a month plus utilities, being internet and electric.
Okay.
2085.
All right. Was there a late fee agreed to?
I never charged them. I waived everything.
Okay. When is the last time you received any money from the tenants?
Rent, I haven't received anything since December. In January, they gave the internet. They haven't paid the electric, 3 months.
Now, did they pay that directly to the provider?
They would send it to me because it's still the unit is still under the company name, so I would make sure that I got it from them and pay it. And he was supposed to take care of it, and he said he did. He sent me something that he took care of it, and Georgia Power said he did not. He faulted on it.
So when is the last time you got any money from them?
For rent in December, for electric, for the internet January.
All right, so you're technically then looking for rent for January, and then if I were to give a writ of possession, 15 days in February.
They've been, I told the mediator they've been carrying a balance, and she's calculated it all. I broke it down for her. They owe over $15,000. They've been carrying a balance since I met them.
I know, I've been but you got an oral lease that you're telling me started in July for $1,800.
I've been waiting for their paperwork, Your Honor. Proof of income.
Listen to me. I asked people questions. You told me the lease started in July. It's an oral lease for $1,800. You told me the last time they paid was in December.
Okay, and I'm sorry. I explained it to her that they came in at Airbnb. They've been carrying a lease since a balance since they came in. They wanted the lease agreement. The HOA said no. Pay up their balance first. So they've been carrying. And I
they
gave
can't
them
carry
paperwork
a
again.
balance.
I told them
that's not how that works. Not on an oral lease.
I know.
So you can't. Okay. I'm not going to give you a judgment for $15,000. So because you have an oral lease that you said started in in July and they paid in December. So I don't know why you would agree to a new lease and that's oral that doesn't address any of those past due amounts.
It did. We've been. That's what I said. I have. If you want me to come to the court and give you all the messages, I can.
But you said it's oral
and all the bank statements. Listen, every day he would pay his rent, $75. They were paying it daily. He could
so
never
let me
come
ask
up
you
with
this.
the whole
Let me ask
thing.
you this. Is this an Airbnb that you now try to convert into a lease?
They wanted it converted to a lease. They did the paperwork, but I asked them for their proof of income. And they signed a letter saying that they would give it to me. They never did. And every month it was the same thing.
Okay.
That
okay.
they wanted more time.
Let me speak to Mr. Green.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a written or oral lease with Ms. Stewart?
I do not have a written lease. I have an oral agreement. I wouldn't call it an oral lease.
Okay. And when was this oral agreement entered into?
From July of 2023 onwards.
And how much was that rent for?
$1,800 a month.
Was there a late fee?
And no late fees, but $1,800 a month, and then I was responsible for the utilities as well.
Okay. And when is the last time you paid rent?
December, that just passed in 2023. I gave her the full amount for December.
Tell me, she's indicating that you had this past balance. Was that considered in this oral agreement or any other writing?
No.
All right. Tell me about why you have not right now, Ms. Stewart. Tell me why you have not paid in January.
So my source of income, I am an investor in the financial markets. I rely on utility of internet to do my job or do my business. I made sure that I paid for my internet services and for the month of January and December, which was a total of $80 for each month. I gave her $160 and $180. And what happened was after I made the payment for the internet bill, she came and tried to retrieve the internet box. Police were called and she was stopped from doing that. And also she disconnected the services anyway, even after I made the payment. So I was unable to produce the income that I normally do based off of not having internet services, and then I'm dependent on that for my job. So that was reason she definitely hindered me, slowed me down for making the income that I needed to pay her.
Are the utilities in your name or her?
It's hers. It's in her name.
Okay. And how did you? She says you paid her in January. How much did you pay her in January?
It was $180 that I paid her for the internet in January.
Is the internet? I take it the internet is on now.
It's off. No, it was off. As soon as I paid the bill, the same week she had it turned off.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell us?
I just want to if you can consider that we are tenancies at will. We don't have a lease, and we would just like as much time by law to vacate the premises if we cannot come to an agreement to pay anything, if she's not willing to accept payment going forward.
I got it. Ms. Stewart, let me tell you this. Unmute for me. Mediator Hayes, thank you. I see the consent. You have a good night. Ms. Stewart, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Stewart, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you aware that you can't take any money from any tenant after you file a dispossessory action? Do you know that?
I am. I did not ask them for money. I haven't taken anything from them. He was supposed to pay the electric bill. She told me to file the eviction on December 29th. That's the first thing.
Come on, you see when I do that.
I haven't taken anything.
When did you get the payment for the utilities in January?
The beginning of January, the 8th, the 7th, the 8th.
And when did
It's
you
not,
send?
it's the internet. And
When did you send them a demand of possession?
they've gotten 60 days, buying them time, and they got another 10-day notice. So I gave them adequate notice that they had to go.
When did you give him the 10
And
days?
he came back and said he wanted to work on it. So I gave them paperwork.
When did you give the 10-day notice? When?
When?
Mhm.
In January. I gave it to them in January.
January when?
Hold on, please. Good afternoon. So my credit to the fixed ratio, so we delete the payment time. December 28th.
Your Honor, I would like to mention that
December
if I
30th, I told them, I said the property will be, I'm sorry?
What day?
December 29th, I said, Ryan, I need you to move out. This is going to be too much for all parties involved. On the 30th, I said the property will be listed back on Airbnb. So I need it vacant so I can clean it.
Hold on, they paid in December. Why are you sending them a demand in December when they paid in December?
Your Honor, because the agreement was they owed 5,000 at the time in back monies. They were going to be paying 3,000.
Can I ask you a question, Ms. Stewart? I'm not trying to be difficult, but you got to understand.
No.
You telling me that they owe 5,000, but you ain't got that in writing, do you? Because the problem is you got a oral.
I have it all in. I have it all in messages.
I know, but
that the agreements that we were making, yes.
But you just told the court that you had an oral agreement for $1,800 a month, that the last time they paid was in December. And then all of a sudden, you've had all those months, you don't have any agreement to address those past due amounts in the 1,800. But now you...
I did it with the lady.
What lady?
I did it with the lady.
That's...
She came up to $15,000.
That ain't how it goes when you have a oral that doesn't address that. So this is the issue. When did you send the demand of possession? And how much money were you at? Because the court doesn't find the 15,000 or 5,000. Because first you said 15, now you're saying 5. So that's the problem.
Yeah, because it's been going on. They were supposed to be paying at the time when they agreed that they wanted to stay. They were going to be paying 3,000. That was in October. They never paid it, and it's been one. Like I said, I didn't submit all these text messages of all the communications for all the changes he's talking about, all the times he's asked for leniency.
I'm going to ask you one more time,
Miss
Stewart, breathe. Because you're frustrating me because you're so high strung. You're not helping me in any way untangle what you got going on. You want the court's help, but you stressed out. I asked you, do you have a written or oral agreement with the Greens?
I do. I have written.
No. Yes or no? Okay, you have a written agreement. Did that expire?
No, it did not.
Okay, you have a written agreement. But you're also saying that you have an oral agreement. What does your written agreement say?
It says that they were going to make good on all the monies that they owed. I asked them, I was going to break out the past due balances. At the time, it was 5,000 to go with the 1,800 per month. He did not do good on it. And so we have gone back. And the last discussion I had was, Ryan, a goal has to be achievable for you to do it. So I will break it down again and do it for $2,500 a month.
But when is
10 months.
When was that?
This is in
of
Way in October. We've been doing
No.
this.
2023?
Yes.
Okay, so why are you
Yes, and so
telling
it
me
has
that
never.
it's 1,800? And then you're telling me the last,
No, because
how much, stop, how much money did you get in December? How much money did you get in December? How much money did they pay you?
2075.
How much?
$2,075.
That ain't 2,500.
2,000.
That's not 2,500.
Exactly.
Right? No, exactly. You said they were paid for the month of December. So if it's exactly, that's rent and utilities. That's not 2,500.
So okay.
So rent.
It's not. That's the problem.
So this is the problem.
Unless I don't understand what you're asking.
No, I think the issue is, and I don't want to go too far in this. You've got an Airbnb. You got all these different agreements with them, right? And you got to figure out what you're going to do. But the one that you got here, you're saying $23,000, but then you're telling the court that you got an oral agreement for $1,800 and they last paid in December. And then you're trying to tack on a bunch of, listen to me. And then you're trying to tack on a bunch of monies that you ultimately say were owed for prior issues. But then you start off the court saying that you have an oral agreement that started in July. I can't consider things that you're talking about all those other months when you made a new agreement that started in July. That's what you did. If you're saying that you ultimately wanted to have them mow money for previously, put it in writing, right? Put it in writing. But don't tell the court that it's $1,800 a month, and then they've been paying that for July and I guess in August and September and October, and then you accept a payment in December and then say all of a sudden I want you to get out. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not. Okay, so that's my misrepresent. That's incorrect. That's not the way it was happening. And that's, if you want to do this in courtroom, then we should, because it's been a constant back and forth with them. And
so you know what?
Ryan is okay, and Ryan is telling me that he's not working. He works under his wife's name doing DoorDash.
That is irrelevant.
So that's not
Miss Stewart is irrelevant. Listen. I'm gonna do you one favor, because it's not gonna hurt me, but you're claiming they owe you 23 racks, but your testimony isn't supporting that. So my other concern though is that they're saying you never sent them a demand of possession, and I'm trying to understand the demand of possession you claim that you sent. Sit down for me. Sit down. I
was kneeling. I'm sorry. I was on the floor.
Okay. Well, whatever. The issue is, I'm going to reset the case. You're going to bring me all your stuff. Okay? But right now, I'm telling you, one, you've got a payment in January, which I'm concerned about, because if you've gotten it after you filed this action, the case is going to be dismissed. So I want you to bring all your paperwork. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Green, if she produces paperwork saying y'all owe a bunch of money, then we're going to have to see about that. But right now, we're talking about oral agreements, and it doesn't seem to be what she's saying on the complaint. So, clerk, if you can, I apologize. I'm going to reset this one because they seem not to really know what they're talking about, and I'd rather have it right. No, Ms. Stewart, just hold tight. It's okay. I'm not being respectful, but you keep talking, you're slowing me up. So we will get you guys reset. Hold tight. And we'll get you reset to an in-person calendar. Miss Brown and Miss Coley, please unmute. Mediator Hayes, again, you are free to go. I don't want to keep you this evening.
Judge, how soon did you want that case reset?
As soon as possible on one of my in-person calendars.
You only in person one time this month. That would be Tuesday.
If they're willing to come down and we got room, I'm willing to put them on.
All right, yes, Judge, we have room for 1 p.m. this Tuesday, the 13th.
All right. We'll see. 13th February, 1 p.m. downtown Decatur. I'll see you in the greens there. We will email you an updated notice. Please, we'll just see what happens on Tuesday. All right. Thank you.